Hi girlies! Welcome back to my channel. I have a super exciting video for you guys today because it's going to be doing a deep dive into every single bag in my Hermes collection. I also have a playlist that I'll link above that does go into a little bit more detail about my Hermes journey. I will be sharing some additional details in this video here as well as how I got my bags and what order I got my bags and any tips I do have in order to have you guys get these bags as well. So we're going to get right into the bags, but before we do, I did want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is HELAS. HELAS is an Australian-owned company that was based in 2014, and they are experts in picking the most beautiful saltwater pearls and combining them with gold, combining them with diamonds to make beautiful jewelry pieces like you see here. HELAS was kind enough to send me two stunning pieces of jewelry, which are the ones that I am wearing right now. They are made of saltwater pearls as well as 18 karat gold, and these earrings as well as this adjustable necklace are from their Melody collection. I know we haven't gotten into the bags yet, but if you can't tell already, every single one of my Hermes bags has gold hardware, and it's because I am such a gold girly, whether it be rose gold, whether it be yellow gold. I absolutely love gold, and if you also saw a previous review of my entire jewelry collection, you also know that I love pearls because I think it's just so elegant, so classy, and they're just pieces of jewelry that will never go out of style, and so I absolutely love combining gold with pearls. So when HELAS reached out, I was so excited to try their pieces out because I've actually been just so impressed with the quality of jewelry as well as the versatility and functionality of their jewelry. I want to start off by showing off this beautiful Melody necklace. This is a piece of jewelry that I am just so impressed with. I've never seen anything like it from a different jewelry brand, but as you can see, it has this stunning gold bar, which again is made of pure 18 karat gold, and then it has two of these pearl drops that you can adjust, so you can either make it into like a choker style, a drop style, or just a regular pendant style. It's totally up to you, so I can totally just adjust it so both of the pearls are down. It can become a low hanging necklace, very pretty as a pendant. What's also super special is that on the back of the necklace, there's actually this little portion where you can tighten and loosen the jewelry as well. So if you didn't like the drop for any reason, you thought that the drop was too low, it kind of just hides behind your clothing, you can actually take this back portion adjustability and pull it upwards so that it creates a little bit more of a tight and choker fit. I've never seen anything like that on a different piece of necklace, and this is so refreshing for me to see because personally for me, I typically find that a lot of the jewelry pieces that I buy, if it's a necklace, I have to end up adjusting it to a shorter chain length. I like it when my necklaces sit a little closer to the base of my neck. I love when my necklaces sit in the middle between my collarbones, and I think that's just a really kind of elegant and feminine look. So having that adjustability is so nice because regardless of who buys the jewelry, whether you want to gift it to someone or you want to gift it to yourself, it's going to be at a length that everybody enjoys because you can set the length yourself. Going back to the seesaw effect on the Melody necklace, I think it's just such a smart decision to be able to make the necklace in this way. I think if you have both pearls sitting at the bottom against the gold bar, I think it's a little bit more of an elegant and classy look. But if you adjust the pearls into more of a seesaw look, I think it's a little bit more playful and casual. So depending on what you want to wear for that day, I think it's super adjustable, and it definitely gives different looks depending on how you wear it. Looking at the Melody pearl earrings, I mean, these are just classic, no fuss earrings. They are beautiful, they are elegant. It's just a singular gold kind of vertical bar, and at the end we have another beautiful saltwater Akoya pearl. These earrings are something that I will wear forever. They are just so versatile. They can go with anything. They can be a daily piece, you can dress them up, they can be for an elegant occasion. It's totally up to you because they're so simple and so muted. They are for everybody. Another thing that I really appreciated that HELAS did was that they had made their earring backings, I think, particularly long. They're longer than any other earring backing that I own. I think this is really helpful for a lot of people who have different lobe sizes. I kind of have thin lobes, so the extra backing kind of length doesn't really have an effect on me, but I do know a couple of my friends who like to extend their posts because they're just like not long enough, or they just don't feel comfortable. It feels like a little bit tight on their ears. So having that extra long backing, again, just makes it easily giftable, and it just makes it a little bit more accessible to most people. Additionally, I mean, their packaging is incredible. It is the most luxurious experience to unbox something from HELAS. Every single piece came beautifully packaged in its own kind of cardboard box, and then inside it came with another velvet box, and the presentation was just stunning. This is an item that is so giftable, especially for upcoming Valentine's Day. Pearls, gold, jewelry, that's just an amazing gift to give to your significant other, so I would definitely recommend considering HELAS for your upcoming Valentine's Day gift. Additionally, HELAS also did include a really nice travel set. They have this travel box that's super handy. You can include a lot of rings, a lot of earrings, perfect for on the go, and honestly I feel like these days it's kind of hard to find a really nice travel box, so I will definitely be taking this along my next vacation. They also have a little travel pouch just to slip into your purses and things like that if you ever want to take your rings off for any which reason. And then also this super cute little mirror. This mirror fits perfectly also into the little travel box as well. So everything is just so tiny, so perfect, and so giftable. And going a little bit deeper into why even choosing HELAS in the first place, I think that the quality of their jewelry is absolutely stunning. They use saltwater pearls, so they use Akoya pearls, they use Tahitian pearls, and they also use South Sea pearls. The ones you see in the Melody collection are Akoya pearls, but saltwater pearls are typically kind of rounder, they're bigger, and they're more lustrous than a lot of freshwater pearls that we see in a lot of kind of modern day jewelry. They're typically rarer than freshwater pearls, and also because of the environment that saltwater pearls are cultured in, they're more durable than freshwater pearls typically. So definitely also in combination with the solid 18 karat gold that HELAS uses, these saltwater pearls plus gold earrings and necklaces are definitely going to be standing the test of time. I think if you're just kind of starting your pearl collection, or you just want to kind of dip your toes into what pearl jewelry looks like for you, definitely the Melody collection is going to be a great starter piece for you. Again, it's really simple. It's just a little bit of gold mixed with a little bit of pearls, and it's really going to be a carefree piece for you to use in any different occasion. And definitely depending on how you style the necklace, how you style these earrings, the necklace shape in particular can be transformed into so many different ways to suit so many different occasions. Again, I think that these are great gifts to give to your special someone, whether it be for Valentine's Day, whether it be for a birthday, whether it be to commemorate something special. I think that you should definitely be considering HELAS for that gift option. All of HELAS's information will be linked in the description box down below, and please don't forget to use my code SOMI at checkout for an additional discount. Okay, let's get started with the very first bag that I purchased from Hermes, which is my Mini Evelyne. And oh my gosh, isn't she the cutest? This is also called the Evelyne TPM, I think also the Evelyne 16. This is the smallest size Evelyne that Hermes has to offer, and I have mine in the color Picotin. This is Clemence leather with the gold hardware. So doing a quick overview of the bag, we have a really simple design. It just has a perforated H, and this is technically considered the back of the bag. And then on the front of the bag, we have a simple button closure here that keeps the bag closed. And then it's just a very plain face. And then the sides of the bag are also super, super plain. And the inside is just in unlined suede material. So a lot of people like to put their shapers in here, which I do as well, and then also inserts and things like that. She is a little bit of an itty bitty bag. She also comes with a shoulder strap here. This is the strap that comes with the bag. It's just super simple fabric, and then it does have the matching gold lobster clasp to clasp onto the bag. This bag is super tiny, super casual, so it's really nice for everyday essentials and everyday errands, and that's typically what I use it for. And the price point is definitely the cheapest bag that you could probably get at Hermes. This retails for a little bit over $2,000, so it's definitely still not a cheap bag in any means, but by far, if you compare it to other bags that Hermes offers, this is probably the most beginner price point that Hermes has to offer. Something that's interesting though is that because the mini bags are definitely the most popular ones to get at Hermes, whether it be the Mini Evelyne, Mini Gypsier, Picotin 18, the 25s, the Mini Kelly, whatever it is, those smaller sizes are the most requested bags. So getting an Evelyne TPM at this point is apparently pretty difficult. Some people say it's almost as difficult as getting a quota bag, which I'm not too sure. I actually got this within my first week of shopping at Hermes, so I can't really speak to the difficulty of getting this bag, but I've definitely seen some other people get their hands on an Evelyne TPM pretty easily. So if this is something that you want to add to your wish list, definitely do it sooner than later, and I think your essay will have good news for you soon. There's a lot of different ways that you can style this bag as well. In just a bit, I'm going to show you the mod shots of this bag, but a lot of people like to accessorize this with twillies. You can add a twilly to the top of this by just tying it to these loops here to create even like a handbag effect. You can also add a twilly to the front portion here, tie it in a little bow. That's super cute as well. You can add, charms, you can add rodeos, you can add really anything you'd like. There's a lot of different little nooks and little hooks here that you can add things to. So this is a really simple base of a bag, but I think jazzing it up with twillies or accessories makes the bag really special and really unique to you. Because of the 2024 price increase that hit at the very beginning of this year, the Mini Evelyne now retails for $2,200 US. Do I think it's worth the money? I'm kind of on the fence. I personally don't get too much wear out of this bag because I don't love wearing my bags crossbody, but if you do love crossbody bags, you love really casual bags, you love really easy bags, then I do think that this bag will be worth it for you. $2,200 honestly in the luxury market is not a crazy amount to be spending on bags these days. Every other single brand that I know has bags at this price point that are kind of like their starter bags or their easy bags. So being able to pay that price point and get something as beautiful with as much rich history as Hermes does, I do think is probably worth the money for a lot of people. So I think in the end, it just comes down to, are you able to get your hands on a color combination that you enjoy and the size that you love? Here is the Mini Evelyne standalone. It's a super neutral basic bag, but there are tons of ways that you can accessorize this little cutie bag. The first way is obviously with its regular crossbody strap, all fabric. It's super casual if you want to just keep it this way. It keeps it really neutral and really quiet. Like I said though, I don't love wearing my bags crossbody, so to encourage me to wear this bag more, I have bought this beautiful donut chain from Loewe. It's got the beautiful gold hardware that matches the gold on my Mini Evelyne, and then these super cute little donuts give it a fun little accent. This is what the Evelyne TPM looks like with the gold donut chain. I think it really elevates it a little bit into a more of a kind of going out bag, and it just gives it a little bit more of a sparkle. A lot of people also like to tie a twilly to the front here to add a little bit of a cute bow. This twilly is obviously very large, but you can also use a little doll twilly to get a super tiny bow here so you can see the age perforations behind. But again, this just dresses it up into a super cute girly bag if that's what you're into. You can also use your twilly to make it into a top handle bag. And then kind of depending on how you tie the twilly here at these loops, you can get it into a shoulder bag length or even a top handle length. And then the last way that I like to wear is to actually combine a twilly with the strap that it comes with. So what you want to do is you want to hook both of the lobster clasps onto the same side of the bag. And then you want to gather the fabric strap such that you kind of fold it in half essentially. And then you can use a twilly to attach this side of the strap with this loop here. And once again, you've got a really cute shoulder length bag, so you can see it is a shoulder length, but then when you wear it from the front, because obviously it'll kind of be tucked in like this on the side, you get a beautiful bow on this side with the Hermes perforation kind of sticking out. We can of course add a little rodeo charm, and that is what she looks like. And here is my cutie Evelyne. This is in the Picotin color. I think she is such a cute bag and very, very young feeling. So I think that if you were definitely looking for your first Hermes bag, or you're a little bit young and you're starting your Hermes journey, definitely the Evelyne, which is just a very classic messenger bag, is definitely the bag for you. She is just so comfortable, by far easily the most comfortable Hermes bag that I own, because the fabric strap is really comfortable on the shoulder. Since it's a really small bag, you can never fill it up too much so it gets heavy. So this is just super easy for a quick casual errand. I did, however, note before that I'm not super much of a crossbody girly. I much prefer wearing my bags top handle or shoulder bag. So I did buy a chain from Loewe. This is the donut chain, and it matches perfectly with the gold hardware that comes on my Evelyne. So this just makes it into a really easily convertible shoulder bag, and I think it elevates it a little bit more. So if you want to take it out for like a date night or going out, this is definitely the chain to do so. I've also used twillies plus the strap that comes with the bag to make it into a shoulder bag as well, but those are just a little bit more of a tedious process to get the perfect bow going or to wrap your twilly in the correct ways. So having a removable chain like this to just throw on whenever you want, that completely changes the vibe and look of the bag, is so nice to have on hand. I'll also link a video where I had unboxed this Evelyne and showed a couple other different ways to wear it with a twilly, but let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer this cute little donut strap chain or the strap that comes with the Evelyne? Next up is my Birkin 30, and this might be a little bit of an unconventional order because this is indeed the second bag that I ever purchased from Hermes. This is my Birkin 30 in gold togo leather with gold hardware, and oh my gosh, she is just a beauty. So the reason that this is actually the second bag that I ever purchased from Hermes was because I actually didn't put any bags on my wish list. Like I didn't put any Lindy's, no Evelyns, no Picotins or anything like that. Even my Mini Evelyne, which I just showed you, that was just offered to me unprompted by my essay, and I just happened to think that it was a cute color combination, so I got it, but I didn't actually tell him that I wanted any specific bags, and that was mainly because I want to only buy bags that I truly, truly, truly love. And until I got this Birkin, I was kind of just like looking around, what do they have to offer, but I didn't find any color combinations that I was just absolutely in love with. So because of that simple reason, I didn't have any bags on my wish list, and that's just why this had become the second bag that I had ever purchased from Hermes. So let's do a quick overview. I've already done a boxing and kind of more further review on the Birkin, so I won't spend too much time on it, but this is the 30 size. It is quite heavy. It is Clemence leather, so it just has a bit of a weight to it because it is a big bag, but the front has just the very classic Birkin look. I like to tuck the top flap into my bag just so it's easier to get in and out of the bag, but the singles just hold in place with these little horseshoe things here. And then here is the side. The back is very plain. And then the last side. Inside all of my quota bags, I do use the 7RP insert just because I do feel like they are kind of the most protecting of the inserts that I had seen, and they're super, super soft. I know they're expensive, but quota bags are expensive too, so I think that it's well worth the money that you're going to pay for a nice insert if you're going to protect a nice bag. I will link above a video that goes a little bit more in depth into how exactly I got this Birkin and all the pre-spent and things of the such, but the reason why this is kind of like the second bag that I got was just because I'd gotten this within a month of starting to shop at Hermes, so honestly there was like no time to even get other bags in between, so I am super happy. She is such a beautiful color. The Birkin 30, however, I do have to say is a tote style bag. It is a large bag, so I do actually get quite tired carrying this bag out. So these days I kind of only carry it out if I actually have a lot to carry and I'm going for like a day trip or something of the such. This is a little bit too big and bulky in my opinion to be more of like a cutesy everyday bag. And because of the stunning color, it does draw a lot of attention. So if you don't love people kind of like looking at you and paying attention to you, this is definitely like a big, loud bag in my opinion. It's not really quiet luxury anymore if you carry Hermes, and that's just kind of the fact of it. Typically for my Birkins, I do just love to wrap the handles. I don't love to accessorize too much on my Birkins because I think the beauty of the bag speaks for itself, but the twillies I do wrap because the handles definitely can patina and change color over time, and because you touch the handles the most out of other portions of the bag, it tends to scratch and get dirty, so definitely wrapping your handles I think is a must for all your bags and quota bags and things like that. But yeah, I absolutely love using this bag. I mean, the gold color from Hermes is so special and so stunning. I mean, this I think is just a quintessential Hermes piece. Because I bought this last year in 2023, I paid $11,600 pre-tax for the Birkin 30. However, after the price increases this year, this bag now retails for $12,500. Is it worth $12,500? It's really hard to say whether a bag is worth it or not because there is just so much price inflation everywhere across all brands, right? Honestly, if you ask me to compare Hermes to Chanel, right? Chanel bags are creeping above $10,000 as well. Would I rather have a mini flap or a Birkin? I think the answer for me is really clear. I'd much rather have a Birkin or a Kelly. However, in terms of like the grand scheme of things, is this worth like a down payment on a car? I mean, it's definitely up to you. I personally wanted to have some of these heirloom pieces in my collection because I know that I will use them for my entire life. I can pass them down to my daughters. I mean, this is going to stay in my family for hopefully a very, very long time. And personally for me, I don't need like 1,000 Birkins. I don't even need 10 Birkins. I need 2 Birkins, which now I have, and I don't really feel the need that I would particularly want to add a third Birkin to my collection, so I'm pretty good in the Birkin front, at least for me. But with all these price increases and just brands going absolutely crazy, for me it was worth it to invest a little bit money and get these bags earlier if I could, and luckily I was able to, rather than later because the price is just going to continue to inflate. So yes, for me, at the time that I paid for it, I do think this bag was well worth it. It is a beautiful bag, it is a really functional bag as well, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Here is my lovely Birkin 30. Typically, I don't accessorize her in any other way besides wrapping the twillies on the handles, so I will quickly show you how I wrap the handles. Alrighty, grab your favorite twilly, and the first thing you want to do is decide which way you want your twilly ends to point. So they can either point like this way, so the slant is facing outwards, or you can have them facing inwards where the slant is facing inwards. I personally like it when the slant faces inwards. I think it kind of just like hugs the Birkin a little bit better, so that's the way that I'm going to do it. So the first step is to just set your first edge up. So just depending on where you want the end of the twilly to peek out of, you're just going to wrap it very tightly to the base of the handle. And this seems about like a good length, so I'm going to hold it in place and then pull really tight on the right side and then just start wrapping. So you want this peeking edge of the twilly, the inner edge, to actually kind of be wrapped and tucked into the first loop of the handle. So what you want to do is you want to pull tightly on this first loop, and then always kind of pull from the bottom side of the twilly like this, and that's what makes the twilly really tight around the handles. So this is about the amount of twilly that's going to be sticking out, and I'm going to aim to have this replicated on that side as well. So again, pull really tight from the bottom, and then you're just going to start wrapping. Again, I'm pulling from always like the bottom side of the twilly, and that's what keeps this beautifully tight twilly wrap. If you see any wrinkles forming in your twilly, you'll just want to smooth them out with your finger and then pull tight again on the end. And then to finish it off, you'll just do your singular knot at the base of your handle. And there you have it, a beautifully wrapped handle. You can see that it's really tight, it's really smooth all across. And I think that your beautiful bags deserve a neatly wrapped twilly and not a messily wrapped twilly. Since she's the Birkin 30 and she's kind of big, I usually don't put any Rodeos or Pegasus on them, but I will show you what it would look like if I did put one on. I mean, I think it's fine. This one is sesame and my Birkin is gold. That's why there's a little bit of a color difference. My SI did just offer me a huge Pegasus in gold, but I think that one is like the size of my hand and that would have just been way too big. I think this is cute as well. I think if I had a gold Rodeo or gold Pegasus, I would wear it a lot more often with my gold Birkin. I do really like it when the colors match with my accessories. This sesame has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, and I think that's maybe why I don't like wearing it with my gold Birkin. But as soon as I get something gold colored or has an accent of gold, I think I will just throw her on here. And this is typically how I wear my Birkin 30. She fits super comfortably in the crook of my elbow since she does have a really large handle drop. I will have to say though, constantly kind of holding my arm kind of in this bent position or kind of putting it closer to my wrist does make my arms tired, especially because the Birkin 30 is a little bit heavy, and especially if you start filling her up to her full capacity, she can get really heavy. So whenever my arms start to get tired, I will just pop her down into a top handle, and this is definitely a little bit more easier to carry like this, and I feel like it just gives it a little bit more of a casual vibe. The Birkin is a tote style, so I think that carrying her like this makes a lot of sense as well, and it is just a little bit easier on my arms to do so. So this is kind of how she looks against my body. And again, I am 5'7", and I'm kind of like an extra small size. Now, the third bag on my list is my Picotin 18 in the beautiful pale blue color. This is again in Clemence leather, which is the same as the Evelyne that I just showed you. Also in gold hardware. You can see with all this gold hardware, my beautiful HELAS jewelry is just complementing them so well. Let's do a quick overview of the Picotin. So it has this beautiful little lock that kind of weighs down this piece of leather that keeps your bag relatively cinched closed. I've added a little bit of a twilly here to accessorize the bag, but it's just a super simple bucket style design. It's more narrow in the front and then kind of wider in the width, you can see here. And then the bag, of course, has feet. Any bag that you can carry top handle at Hermes does come with feet, which is such a lifesaver in my opinion to keep these bags beautiful. And then the handles are super simple as well, just pieces of Clemence leather to create your beautiful handle, and a lot of people like to wrap their Picotin handles as well in a twilly. I was debating for a very long time whether to get my 7RP insert for a Picotin as well, but because the Picotin only retails for a little bit over $3,000, I didn't know if a $500 insert was going to be worth it for this bag. I think $500 for a $12,000 bag is kind of well worth it, but then for the Picotin, especially because it's not a bag that I carry out too frequently, I wasn't too sure, so I did find an alternative insert. This one is super cute, and I think it does a really good job as well. You can see that the interior is kind of like a satin material. It also has this little hook thing here where you can attach keys or your wallet or anything to make sure it stays secure in your bag. But yeah, I think it does a good enough job, so no need for really the 7RP insert. And I have been loving the Picotin as well. I think all my bags that I've gotten for Hermes are very mindful choices, and they're definitely all bags that I will use on a day-to-day basis with no problem trying to kind of finagle it into my wardrobe. This bag, probably amongst all my Hermes bags, is the easiest to use. It's just such a carefree bag. You kind of just hook it onto your arm, and because there's no straps, there's no zippers, there's no nothing to kind of prevent you from getting in and out of your bag, you just stick your hand in, grab what you need, and pull it out. So there's a little bit less like secureness for the items in your bag. So if you're worried about someone being able to like put their hand in and take it out, I mean, that's always a possibility, I guess. But personally for me, I've never kind of been afraid of that. And then if I am traveling in crowded places, obviously I'm putting a little bit more attention to what my bag is doing. But yes, there's definitely tons of ways to accessorize this bag as well. You'll see the mod shots in just a second, but a lot of people like to do this kind of little braided twilly here, which I think is honestly the cutest. People also like to wrap their handles, which I think it's a little hard to wrap the handles because they're really flat, unlike Birkin handles or Kelly handles, but that's definitely something that people like to do, again, to protect the beautiful clemence leather that's on the handles. People will also buy crossbody straps, I've seen, where you can kind of hook these additional attachments here to make it into a crossbody bag, but I think because this is obviously meant to be a handheld bucket bag, that's what I'm going to use it for, and I think it's so, so, so adorable. Now, is this bag worth it? So when I bought this bag, it retailed for a little bit over $3,000. I believe it was $3,025. Now in 2024, it retails for $3,300. And again, it's a very friendly kind of beginner price point for Hermes. Right after the Evelyne kind of starter line, next comes the small Picotin line, and I personally believe that it is worth that money. It is beautiful craftsmanship, it is beautiful leather, beautiful hardware, and I think that it's just a stunning, iconic look. And again, $3,000 in the grand scheme of luxury bags is not anything kind of outrageous or anything super expensive, so it's just kind of fitting right there with all the kind of other mid-luxury, mid-range bag prices that we often see. And of course, the bucket style design bag is usually pretty cheap. Like, you can get cheaper bags at Loewe, you can get cheaper bags at Louis Vuitton, obviously, but you're also paying for that heritage, that brand of Hermes, which I think is so beautiful and so lovely to have as part of your collection. So if you are willing to spend the extra $1,000 to get a bucket bag from Hermes, I do think that it's well worth the money. This bag is just so easy, so casual, so carefree, and so cute. 3 C's, casual, carefree, cute. And so this is definitely a bag that will stay in my collection for a very, very, very long time. Getting this Picotin 18 also wasn't necessarily on my wish list, actually. Again, my SA had just been like, oh my god, this color came in, it's beautiful, I thought of you. And so at that moment, I did take it because this is such a stunning color combination and I absolutely love pastel colors. But again, I don't actually think I've ever put a non-quota bag down on my wish list. I'm glad with the ones that I have. I love my Picotin, I love my Mini Evelyne, but I have tried on all the other bags. Like, I've tried the Ruly, I've tried the Boldy, I've tried the Lindy, I've tried every single bag, like the Constance to Go, everything, but I'm not like super in love with them. I think maybe as I get older or I find other purposes to use them in my life, then I will definitely start to add those bags to my collection. My SA is kind of always asking like, oh, do you want this, do you want this, do you want this? But personally, I don't know. I have a lot of bags already and I don't like getting too many bags like too close to each other, because then I find that I kind of forget about the bag that I bought before and I won't get as much use out of it. So I kind of like having at least some time in between all my bags so that I can use it a lot. I'm encouraged to use it more before getting the next bag. So currently, again, there's no other non-quota bags on my wish list at the moment, but definitely happy with all the non-quota bags that I have. I did want to do a little bit of a size comparison between the Picotin 18 and the Mini Evelyne. You can tell that the heights are pretty much the same. Of course, what comes into a big difference is the size and widths of the bag. There is tons and tons of space in this Picotin 18, whereas this one really only is the essentials for you, your daily essentials, your card holder, your sunglasses, your keys, your lipstick and the such. But yes, definitely differences in size is the biggest difference for these two bags. The Picotin 18 is approximately $1,000 more than the Mini Evelyne, so is $1,000 more worth it to you to get all this extra space? This is a top handle bag, whereas this is a crossbody bag, so there's a lot of differences to think about if you are thinking about your very first starter Hermes bag, but I do think that both are just really great options. The Picotin is a little bit better if you want a little bit more of a dressed up cutesy vibe, I think. If you like top handles, this is definitely the bag for you. If you're a no fuss kind of girl, you're casual all the way, definitely then the Mini Evelyne is the better bag for you. So this is my beautiful Picotin 18. I'm going to show you the ways that I tie my twilly and how you can accessorize it. So this is typically how I wear my twilly on my Picotin. I think that this braided look is so cute, so I'm going to show you quickly how to do this yourself. So with your favorite twilly, all you're going to do is just loop it through this first kind of square buckle here and pull it until it's about halfway through. And then you're just going to want to like bunch up the twilly. You don't have to twist it or anything, but you're just going to kind of bunch it up so that you can twist it and braid it pretty easily. And then once you're about a little past halfway, maybe about 3/4, you're just going to make a simple loop with your twilly. And then from here, you're just going to make your bow. But there you have it. Now you have a super cute braided bow on your Picotin. We can also definitely accessorize our Picotin with maybe a cute rodeo. I don't like it when there's too many things going on, so I usually don't ever wear like a rodeo on my Picotin. You could also wrap the handles of your Picotin if you wanted to. This was just the nearest twilly to me, but I think it's best if you put 2 knots here at either end of your handle. So I'm gonna put the first knot on this end. You wanna just make sure that you're happy with the length of twilly that kind of pops out, and then the remainder you do just want to wrap how you would normally wrap your twilly. You want to make sure that you're evenly spacing your twilly wraps and also pulling tight so that there's no wrinkles showing. And then lastly, you want to make your last knot, so you're just going to tuck in the tail into your last loop. And it's a little bit messy, but you can see now your handles are totally protected. And it is a really cute way to hold your Picotin as well. And here we have my cutie patootie Picotin, so adorable. Again, this is another top handle bag, so I usually just carry her in the crook of my arm. She fits super comfortably just at the crook of my elbow. And as well, you can also, just similarly to the Birkin, carry her top handle like this. I have seen people put like adjustable straps and crossbody, things like that, but personally for me, I don't really like wearing my bags crossbody all too much, so I do much prefer wearing my bags top handle. So this is what she looks like against my frame. This is the P18, and I think that is the perfect size for Picotin. I think any bigger than kind of like the smaller sizes, it starts to look more like a sack instead of a bag. So I think the Picotin 18 is super cute. This bag is so easy and casual that you can just pull anything in and out of the bag super easily since it doesn't have any kind of particular latch. So anytime I'm feeling just, I want to do a grab and go situation, I'm in a hurry, I definitely grab my Picotin and then we are off for the day. And then lastly, the 4th bag that I've purchased from Hermes is my beautiful Birkin 25 in Noir. This is Togo leather with gold hardware. Again, I will link above the unboxing video that I did for this bag, but this, oh my god, by far is my favorite bag that I have gotten from Hermes. Let's do a quick overview. So you just saw the Birkin 30, so you can definitely see how much kind of smaller the Birkin 25 looks, but all the features are the same, just kind of shrunk down proportionally. We have the beautiful gold detailing here. I've wrapped my handles as well in my twillies. I've also added my cute little rodeo touch here. And then the back and the sides are just absolutely stunning. Inside, I also have my 7RP insert. This one is brand new. I just got it. You honestly can't see anything inside of a black bag, but I did get a black insert, and so it's pretty much a black hole inside of my Birkin 25. Things definitely might get lost in there. But this bag, oh my gosh, this is definitely a holy grail kind of bag. I mean, this is absolutely stunning. The black or noir color from Hermes is not like a really deep black. It's definitely kind of a more transitional black. I think it looks really pretty in a lot of lights. It can even go from like almost like a dark blue to like a black gray color. And so I think this bag is just the best bag to match to any outfit that you have. And then of course, because it is the Birkin 25 size, this bag is just such a breeze to carry around. It's quite light. It definitely carries still all the essentials. This is more than enough space to carry everything that I typically carry in a day. And so this by far has been my go-to kind of everyday, or like a kind of like nicer everyday bag that I have been using. And I've received so many compliments on this bag. Let's do a quick size comparison of the Birkin 30 versus the Birkin 25. And even though it's what, like a 5 centimeter difference in length of the bag, you can definitely see how much bigger this Birkin 30 is compared to the Birkin 25. I can definitely fit this bag inside the Birkin 30, so this bag just eats up this bag essentially. And honestly, I think the most important difference between these two bags is the weights of the bags. The Birkin 30 is a noticeably heavy bag, whereas the Birkin 25, it has some weight to it, but it's definitely just a very manageable weight. I get quite tired when I carry out my Birkin 30 for extended hours of the day, whereas I've had no issue with my Birkin 25. And this bag honestly is just really really big, so it carries a lot more than your daily essentials. You'll have a lot of extra space in the bag. I think it's definitely good for kind of extended trips, a day trip or whatnot, kind of outside the city where you need to plan for and carry a lot more things. But for me, now that I have a choice between carrying out the 30 and carrying out the 25, I pretty much always default to carrying out the 25 because it's just an easier bag to carry. I still love both bags though, and I think that both bags are great ones to have in your collection. Of course, if I only had to choose one, I would definitely choose the Birkin 25. Like, that's a no-brainer because it's just a bag that I use more often. But even though I don't use this Birkin 30 as often anymore these days because I do have my Birkin 25, I think definitely in the future this is a bag that I'm going to reach for a lot more. Maybe as like my proportions change or when I have a child, I think that having more space is definitely going to become a necessity, even if it's not necessarily a necessity now. But the Birkin 25 I think is kind of like the most proportional sizes of all the Birkins. I think that it's just a super cute kind of mini rectangle. The handles are so cute on top, and that all the little mini Rodeo, so I think these are the Rodeo PM sizes, they look really good against the 25 sizes. And so I don't really accessorize my other bags as much, but because this bag is so cute, and previously from my essay I did receive the So Black Touch Rodeo, I had to add it on and it was just meant to be. Now, I bought this bag this year in January. I was so sad because the price had gone up by $1,000 since last year. So last year the Birkin 25 retailed for $10,400, but this year in 2024 I did buy the bag for $11,400. So I only bought this bag for $200 less than my Birkin 30, which is way bigger of a bag. So is it worth it? I mean, for me, I love this bag. I cannot love this bag anymore. It is by far my favorite bag in my collection. So although it was really expensive, I do think it was worth it for me because I mean, this is the Holy Grail bag. I don't think I really need any other black bag in my collection because if I need a black bag, I will probably just gravitate towards my Birkin 25. So this is an everything bag for me, so putting a lot of money into it was worth it for me personally. But I definitely would have been much more happier paying the $10,400 price point, which at that point I think was super worth it. The $11,400 price point, and if it goes higher than that next year or even in future years, then it gets into a question of, is it really worth it or not? I mean, this is a beautiful bag, beautiful craftsmanship. And again, the question comes down to, like, how do you define if it's worth it? Obviously for Hermes, you're paying for the brand name, you're paying for the heritage, you're paying for the craftsmanship, so you have to be okay with all of those things before you're okay with spending that much money to buy a bag. But yes, this is the fourth bag that I purchased from Hermes. If you want more details about kind of how I got this bag and the pre-spend and all that stuff, please do go watch the unboxing that I had linked earlier. But just generally, there was a good amount of pre-spend that went into this bag. I do really love this bag, but again, definitely for the quota bags, you have to remember that it's not just the retail price of the bag that you're paying, you're also paying for everything that you kind of paid before you got the bag. So this bag in particular was really, really expensive for me, whereas my Birkin 30 kind of came with a pretty easy amount of pre-spend. I'm just glad she's here. No point looking in the past. I am just looking into the future where I am happy using this bag. This is my lovely, lovely Birkin 25. She's absolutely gorgeous, and this is just how she goes out every day. The twillies are always wrapped on the handles, and I do typically like to actually wear a Rodeo on this bag because it just matches so perfectly. I think that the all black makes it kind of blend in a little bit, so it's a lot nicer and more quiet, and I think I prefer it that way. The twillies, actually, I had a hard time deciding because normally I like to wrap them matching like I did with my Birkin 30, but they actually didn't have two of this Precious Paradise when I went in, so I just picked up one, and then I think it actually really worked out because on the back I have this Dogs of Paris twilly, which is really dark navy with black trim. And so because of that, I think this one blends in really well with the back of the bag, which then gives it a little bit more accent to the front twilly of the bag, which I think is actually a really nice touch. So since I already showed you kind of how to wrap the twillies on my Birkin 30, I won't do it again, but just to show you again, this is how I style my Birkin 25. So this is typically how I wear my Birkin 25, usually just on my wrist area since it doesn't go all the way to the crook of my elbow, but I think that's totally fine. She fits very comfortably here, but I will have to say if you wear kind of like a chunky wrist stack, then it might be a little bit more difficult to get her on and off your wrist, but I usually find no issue with that since I don't really usually wear chunky bracelets. I will also wear her just as a top handle, kind of swinging her from side to side because she is really comfortable to wear like this as well, but obviously if you are wearing her top handle, then you don't have that extra hand to carry like a drink or something, so you do lose a little bit of kind of hand mobility wearing her like this. But I think from the side she looks really cute when you wear her just as a top handle, but I will say that for the most part I usually do just wear her on my wrist. Well, that brings me to a wrap on my review of my entire Hermes collection. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I don't have too many bags, but every single bag that I've added is thoughtfully placed into my collection. I would love to know down in the comments which bag was your favorite, or if you have any recommendations of what I definitely need to add next to my collection. Again, I hope that you will check out HELAS. Their gold, pearl, and diamond jewelry is so stunning. I've received so many compliments whenever I wear these pieces out. I'm really impressed with all the design features incorporated into so many of the jewelry pieces, and I think that you will be too. Don't forget to use my code SOMI at checkout for further discounts. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye guys!